Today we are going to be continuing my speed run. I know that many of you thought that I would never continue on that, but people, you were wrong. We are continuing my speed run and I'm super pumped about that. I think that we're right now at 1,000 ratings, so we're going to be going from 1,000 to 1,100 today. That is the plan. I want to keep on going. We've won every single game so far in our speedrun account, which I'm happy about. Everybody gets the rating back. So my real rating is like 2,000, 2,100, but I have a second, chess.com authorized speedrun account that, chess.com knows about, of course, where they give the rating back to everybody that plays against me. See, I'm gonna go ahead and take this game versus Alvarez, and we're gonna go ahead and go d4. Awesome. Game report to see mistake. I mean, d4, c4, e6. What was that? Guys, no, I'm not going to go for the game report. Wait, what's happening? Oh, no. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not going to go for the game report. But yeah, I think it was just not taking the rook before. Okay, we're going to go ahead and bring this knight up. Let's see. They're going for a, kind of queen's gambit, but with bishop b4. So that is good. We could go queen c2, but I think we're going to go knight f3 first, just to protect our pawn first. Awesome. This knight is going out, and then we're just gonna go ahead and go for our always love to play thing kind of line. So that's the one that we're gonna go for. So here we can actually go for this queen a4 move, check, because if bishop here, we can just take it, and if knight c6, we can probably take it as well, because then we're gonna have check and take the rook. So this was a mistake by them. They had to take this pawn before. They cannot go knight e4 because now there's this opening trick that, we have a check where we're winning the bishop. So that was really important. Otherwise, it would have been a good move if the pawn was here. But, they had to do it. So bishop d7. And now we can just go ahead and take it. Awesome. And now we're threatening this one too. We're threatening on b7. We're threatening lots of different things. We're going to keep it nice and safe. We're just going to take here first before anything else. We could go queen takes b7. But there's going to be bishop there. So maybe we want to get our pieces out first. I'm thinking we might want to go bishop f4, just that whenever we take the pawn on b7, this pawn is hanging as well. Awesome. So let's go ahead and take it, and now we're threatening to take that one too. There we go. We're taking all the pawns. We're taking all the pawns, chat. I think we're gonna take this one too. There we go. We're brave. We're brave. Hello, Chaco. How you doing? How you doing? Hello, Aaron. Can I show a bird game? I feel like it wouldn't be so instructive because I don't play the bird. I love birds though, but I don't play the bird. Okay, we're taking on c7. We're just taking as many pawns as possible. Nice. Nice. Please suggest me a strong opening with black against 1d4. The Limso is a very strong one. The names are just like a normal slab or something. Okay, so they're exchanging. Probably should not have exchanged queens because, they're material down. At the same time, it's hard to see where to go with the queen. Maybe queen e7 would have been a little bit more tricky. We're going to go bishop f4, or maybe bishop d6 would have been better, but it's fine. So now we just want to get all our pieces out. We're going to go e3. They're exchanging even more. They shouldn't be exchanging when they are, when they're so much down. We're going to go rook c1 just to find. And now we're going to go bishop here and kick the knight away. There we go. We want to stay in the center because, the queens aren't here. And the kings are another important piece in the endgame. So we're just going to stay in the center. King e2, just defending everything. Trying to take this one. We're okay with that. I just don't love the fact that we might get triple pawn. So I'm going to go bishop here. And I'm also right now trapping this knight. This knight can't go anywhere right now. So, awesome. Awesome. Because of Anna Flagling, you play more d4. Yay, Henry! Great stuff. I'm happy I've been able to teach you something good. So we're going to go rook here, rook b2 check. We're just going to go ahead and exchange. And this knight is now trapped. There we go. Nice. There we go. How are you doing, Fianchados? The opening has nothing to do with birds. I'm fully aware of that random moves. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and take this one. Awesome. And this is looking fantastic. Let's see. So there we go. We're taking this one. Rook there. We're just gonna bring the king up to d3. bishop here. I think we can start with bishop e5. We're threatening to take over there. If f6, we'll just take the pawn. Now we'll go bishop here. We're going to try to take that one as well. Okay, there we go. Now we're taking this one. Probably they had to go rook a5 to defend. And here we can start, you know, and go on a run. I think we're going to go rook g1 and then rook here just to be able to get our pieces out better. Awesome. Awesome. There we go. Let's see. London system. That's great, Snooker. That's great. Also, fianchettos. Yes. Okay, there we go. Now we're trying to go for a checkmate. And it's hard to see how to avoid the checkmate because here we still have a checkmate in 2. There we go. GG, Alvarez. Thank you so much for the game. I would say this is a great game, Alvarez. I think that the thing that, yeah, okay, what went wrong was just in the opening that went for knight e4. It's great that you know about this move and you know about this pin idea, but it's really important to do it, you know, when knight c6 is available. You always need to keep this, you always need to keep this check in mind. So you need to be able to go knight c6 at that point. Yeah, you need to do that. Let's see, I missed totally the queen. Oh yeah, you missed totally the queen. Exactly. It's a great trick to know about. Just remember that queen a4 check thing. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. But that was a great game. Let's go ahead and take the next one. Okay, let's go d4. Awesome. You're on defense too. Yeah. d4, d5, c4. Let's go for a queen's gambit. Yeah, exactly. And I think that that is why, you know, it's yeah. Yeah, it's just yeah, I'm really not sure. Let's see. So c6. Let's see. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my knight out. Good morning, Stenio. Good morning. Yes, you guys can play with me if you are between 1,000 and 1,200, or no, between 1,000 and 1,100 rated. You know, preferably, but you know, up till 1,200 as well. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so knight is going back over there. This is a Slav. This is, you know, old theory. e6. This is now semi-Slav. So, let's see. So it would have been a Slav if you took here and all that, but now it's a semi-Slav. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and just go e3. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, Yavi, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay, we're gonna go bishop d3. Awesome. It's really good, Rox. It's really good. So h6, you know, makes sense. I think that the idea of going h6 is dropping e4 and then maybe... No, I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure what the idea of h6 is yet, but I guess it's at some point not be able to go bishop g5 or something. Yeah. Philidor, do you play the challenge in some kind of order or just pick randomly? I'll just pick randomly. I mean, right now I don't have any challenge, so, you know, just challenge me. And, you know, I'll try to pick your game. So, we could also go ahead and push. I kind of feel like I want to push before this knight goes up to d7. I think that it would have been better to maybe get the knight out to d7 before h6. Yeah, I just thought there isn't time for me to go e4. Why do I always play the Queen's Gambit? Because I love the opening, Sarah. Okay, and now I think that this is probably going to be the mistake of the game. That's going to be the decisive mistake. At this point, Rock probably just didn't want to take here. But what was important to understand was the fact that after I went e4, I had another threat. So it's always important to see what's happening in the center. And especially if you have, you know, pieces in this formation. Because there is this fork idea always. So, let's see. So bishop goes up to b4. And now we're able to take the knight. So this is an important, you know, kind of tactical idea to know, to see this fork and always be ready for that when the bishop and knight are, you know, in these kind of triangle formation. Yeah. So now the queen is taking on f6. We're gonna go ahead and go bishop d2. I want to protect here. I don't want to take here because I don't want this bishop to get active if pawn takes. So yeah, that is that. That is that. Yeah, so I think it's always important to play, you know, try to play your best even when you're a piece up. I'm gonna go A3 to see if they exchange pieces, because if they exchange pieces, I'll be even happier because I'm a piece up already. Awesome. Okay, this is looking good. So he's going bishop d6, which makes sense. That's a good move. Just to not exchange the pieces. And I want to exchange queens if I can. I'm not sure if I will be able to. But I think I'm going to start going c5 and we'll see where this bishop goes. Awesome. Thank you, Philidor. Thank you. What would you play after d takes e4? What was the main idea? I can explain it after a game, Skew. I can explain it after a game. Cool. So bishop goes to c7. And I want to get a queenside majority, which means when you... Or not majority, but, you know, queen... I want to get a lot of queenside space, which means that, you know, your pawns are, like, really pushed up and that, you know, you can do more things with them. There's a lot of space, basically. So now I'm going to go b5. Nice. Nice. We're going to go b5. And I just want to activate my pieces. Maybe get a knight up to d6. Nice. This is looking good. Zay, go ahead and play to the best of your ability. That's the thing here. Of course you do. Of course you do. So, I'm just going to go rook c1 because I want to... We can see that this is a pawn right now that's not protected by any other pawn. And we can see that there's a bishop, an unprotected bishop behind. Because they're like, you know, kind of unprotected pieces in this file, putting a rook over here is just really great because it's going to create a lot of threats. Yeah. So we want to do that. Let's see. So takes, we're going to go ahead and take on b5. That is good, Rox. I'll try to explain it. Creating and taking space, but the issue is that we had 1000 rating, not knowing how to do that. Or stop it. Okay. So I'll explain how you could have stopped it here. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and just take back here. Playing a lot of matches without study is useless. Kiabe, I wouldn't say it's useless because you always learn something new because you always have new thought processes in every game. But I think that, you know, an easy way to studying while playing a lot of matches is studying your own matches, right? I think that's a very easy way of doing it. So, hello, Smithy. How are you doing? So now we can see that the rook is hanging. I was actually threatening the rook when going here. And now we can see that after takes and bishop takes, the bishop and knight are going to be on the same file, which means that a rook over here would be absolutely fantastic. Because now this bishop can't move because then we'll take the knight. There you go. Awesome. 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 So the rook has to go to b8. And here we could win a pawn by taking over here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. If bishop takes back, we'll just take this knight, which is right behind the bishop. There we go. Nice. There we have it. Now we take this one. Cool. Okay, so bishop is going up to c3. Attacking over here. But we are a lot of material up. So I'm just going to go queen a4 because I want to bring my queen to the attack. But I also want to defend this pawn at the same time. So that is what we want to do. Okay, awesome. This is looking good. I'll go ahead and explain the whole space idea. How many people here that are around 1000 rated feel like they understand what space is in chess? Because it's a pretty, like, difficult concept to understand, to be honest. The pawn wasn't even attacked. Yeah, you typically don't want to push g5 too much. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go. Okay, so I guess that they're trying to create some sort of attack. I'm just going to go queen here just to always keep this one protected. Okay, also, so this bishop is going here. I'm just going to bring this knight up just so that if, you know, this queen moves, we'll go ahead and take it. I seem to space every time you're in a winning position. Inferno, high five. High five. Let's just go g3 just so that we can get a little bit of space for our king. And now we can go ahead and go for, you know, the ultimate checkmate attack. You're higher rated than 1000, you don't feel like you completely understand it. That makes a lot of sense. There we have the checkmate. So, this queen was protecting over here. It was an important queen to protect. But that is okay. I still think there is much I should understand and experience by playing. I think that is great. I think that is great. So, just trying to, you know, trying to teach you some stuff. Obviously, I am not, you know, a coach in chess, but I'm just trying to teach you the stuff that I know. So, it's great when you ask me questions. But basically, what space is the ability of pushing back your opponent's pieces. So what I was gonna say is that if you think about space in the same way as war, you can think about it as, you know, two teams kind of fighting against each other, or two, you know, whatever. Let's see. So this is team A and this is team B. Okay, team A and team B, and they're just fighting against each other, right? And what space basically is in chess is as many soldiers of team A, you know, getting into the space of team B, all right? Getting into space of team B and forcing team B to push back. And, you know, what happens is that when you push back another team and the team has to stay, you know, super far back, does that mean that they've immediately lost? No, it doesn't mean that they've immediately lost. Thank you so much for resubscribing 7 months. Doesn't mean that they've immediately lost, but it's gonna be easier to, because they're gonna have less space to work around, it's gonna be harder for them to always defend themselves, you know? And it's gonna be easier for team A to be able to just go through everything and just, you know, beat team B, basically. So that is, it's like two armies in war. So what about overextended pawns? Well, overextended pawns, which are pawns that are way far ahead and, you know, that don't have anyone protecting them, it's like a soldier just deciding randomly to walk into the other side without, you know, any other soldiers helping them out. It's just one soldier, you know, that's just, you know, running into the other side and just being like, hey, I'm awesome, I can, you know, I can do everything by myself. And then the other side is like, no, we're literally 10 people against one, you're gonna get killed, you know what I mean? So that is what that is. That is kind of how I would explain it. That was kind of how I would explain it. So, and then you lose the pawn, right? Because the pawn was all alone. The pawn didn't have anybody protecting them. And that is the difference, guys. I'm gonna analyze this game in a second, but let me just actually show you something. That is the difference between having pawns like this, okay? Having pawns like this, you can see that all the black's pieces are pretty, you know, far back. Thank you so much, Castro, for the 9 years. Thank you for making chess great. Thank you so much, Castro. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So it's, you can see here that all these pawns are really far up in on the board, you know. This is like, yeah, they're really far up on the board, and you can see that all the black's pawns are kind of, you know, they're just kind of stuck there on the other side. And that is basically the difference, that now these pawns are strong, okay? These are strong. This is a full army walking in together, you know, being safe and just slowly but surely pushing everybody back. But, you know, that is the difference. Look at the difference between this and just having a pawn here. This soldier or this pawn just decided to walk all the way up. And yes, is the pawn on the other person's space? Yes, the pawn is on the other you know, side space. But it's just a weak pawn that's gonna be taken in the next move. And that is kind of how I would explain space. Yeah, does that kind of make sense? I would say that, you know, going to your opponent's side is basically being, like, if you're playing with the white pieces, is being on row 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? These 4 are your rows. These 4 are your enemy's rows, okay? And if you think about it as war, then this is when you're starting to invade your enemy's space. And the further back you push them, by, you know, bringing your pieces up in a reinforcing way, the more difficult it's gonna be for your opponent to, you know, defend everything. Kind of. I mean, obviously everything changes in different positions, but that is just a very basic way of explaining it. How to defend our pawns if we push them? Well, I mean, yeah, that is one point. If you're gonna push your pawns, bring all your pawns and don't just walk with one. But no, you don't have to bring the other pawns, but just bring pieces, you know? Never overextend the pawn. That's what I was basically saying. Never overextend the pawn and put it in a place where it's not defended. No. Okay, but anyways, let's just go ahead and see what happened in the game. So, let's go and see what happened in the game. this is all good. I think that h6, I think that you might want to bring this knight out first. I was getting the question on, you know, what my plan was after e4. So, the idea of going e4 is just that I'm trying to break the center. I'm threatening to go e5. And this is the most central pawn that black has. This is the pawn that's, you know, furthest, you know, furthest into their territory or whatever. Furthest, like, pushed pawn that's, you know, controlling the center. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to exchange this pawn right here that's not as central as this one. I'm trying to exchange this one for this one. So, and that is just kind of an idea in chess that you kind of want to exchange your non-central pawns for central pawns, because central pawns are the pawns that are able to control most squares. So that is why we're trying to do that. To be in a single sentence, just simplify what I use the whole analogy about war for, yeah. Let's see. So, rook, and yeah, and here was the issue. But yeah, so the idea here would have been to take, and this is why typically you want to have a knight here so you can go knight f6. This is probably what I would have tried to do. And here we can see that after something like knight d7, bishop e3, knight f6, I would probably just have gone bishop c2, try to get a queen up to d3, and then just brought my rooks to the center. And in this position, I have, you know, I think that this is very comfortable for white because this bishop can't really move in a good way. And you're probably gonna want to go c5 at some point, but then we can push d5 because we want to exchange this non-central pawn for this central pawn, basically. So, yeah. Let's go ahead. No timer for the speed run today. Oh, Cactus. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that's true. Forgot about the timer. I don't think we need a timer, though. I think it's okay. So, yeah, that is basically the plan for white here. When you play this, I like this for white. I think it's a little bit passive for black, but I mean, it's not bad. It's just that I feel like it's a bit passive. I love playing against this. So, yeah, it's a teaching run. Exactly, Blue. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, that would have been the idea, but it's very important to take here. Because if you do go, like, bishop c7 or something, then I'm going to be able to go e5. And then you're seeing now what I'm talking about, that I am starting to push back all of black's pieces in a controlled way, right? So I'm gaining space here. And how am I gaining space? Well, I'm gaining space because because my opponent, not you, but because my opponent, my imaginary opponent in this case, is not taking the pawns that are being pushed. Basically, what's happening, if we go back to the analogy of war, what's happening is that no soldiers are attacking back or attacking the soldiers that are trying to get to your side. You know what I mean? So what's happening here is that I'm gaining space because black is not stopping me from pushing my pieces. That's the same way when I'm trying to get space on the queen side. What I do is that I just push my pieces and I try to do that, you know, in a controlled manner with all my pieces together going forward. Now, if black doesn't stop me from doing that, in this case, doesn't exchange the pawn that's gonna push, then I'll just be getting a lot of space. But that is basically what space is. Does that make sense? Yeah, now the king side is free for your pieces. Exactly. So now I'm pushing up all my pawns. I'm kicking away black's pieces. Black needs to go back. And now I have a very clear plan. I have a plan of attacking the king. Why? Because the king is all alone here dancing with the rook, not doing anything, with only, you know, a little bit. This is like, you know, this is like a house of paja. Like, do you know what this is? Like, in English, what's the word, you know? Like a one that the wind can just blow away, like, and then the things just blow. Hay. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So it's like a house of hay, right? It's like there's no protection. It's just, it's there and it looks good, but this is actually very easy to get through. Do you know what I mean? Gotta stop with the analogies. Who here understands my analogies? I feel like life is easier with analogies, guys. Life is more fun with analogies.